Hi, and welcome back to another episode of Let's Talk. My name is Annika, and today I wanted to share with you guys how I ended up at a completely dodgy, horrible hotel instead of at a beautiful mansion style kind of hotel. The first time I traveled alone by bus from Mexico City to Uruapan, Michoacan. Stay tuned and get the whole story. Okay, so back in 2000, one of my friends was working for an agricultural company and he used to visit different states. And he said, I'm going to be in Uruapan, Michoacan in the summer. Would you like to come and join me? And I said, yeah, that would be super cool. I had heard some things about that place and I was really psyched to go and visit. And what better to have a guide who knows about the place, right? So, but the thing was, he was gonna be there and I was gonna go join him by bus. And that was a little bit of an adventure for me because I didn't speak a lot of Spanish. I have learned some. This was in, I don't know, like June or July of 2000. So I had been here for five months more or less. So I understood when people spoke to me, but I was really not confident about answering and anything like that, or like asking questions was really hard for me. So he said it's very easy. You go to, I don't remember, Central del Norte, I think. Was maybe the bus station. Yeah, Central del Norte. And from there, you're going to take another bus to Uruapan, and I will come and meet you at the bus station. And that sounded pretty easy, right? But for me, it wasn't. Okay, I think I just remember it was not Central del Norte. I went to Observatorio because I remember it was a really long subway ride. Anyway, when I got to the bus station, it was pretty big and I located the bus company and I located the gate. My ticket had the gate number and it had my name on it. So I went up to that gate and I asked the lady in a pretty rudimentary Spanish, like, aquí es para Uruapan? And she was like, sí, aquí es, en 10 minutos sale el camión, okay? And I was like, okay, I will stand here and wait. And I thought it was a bit fishy because there was no other people there. I'm like, am I really the only person who's gonna travel on this bus to Uruapan? But there was no other people there and I was waiting because I was obedient and I was doing as they told me. And then it was like 2 minutes to the hour that the bus was gonna leave and I started getting really suspicious. And I asked the lady again, like, el camión a Uruapan? And she was like, sí, ahorita sale, ahorita te llamamos. And I was like, okay, it's a little bit weird. And then I was thinking like maybe it's like on the airline, maybe I have an economic ticket and they're gonna like board the ones who bought another kind of ticket. What do I know? I had never traveled by bus alone before that. And then it was like the hour, let's say it was, I don't know, 2 o'clock or 1 o'clock or something like that. And I went up to her again and I said, hey, I tried to speak a little bit of Spanish and I tried to speak a little bit of English because nobody really spoke English, so it wasn't very useful for me. So I tried to make myself understood. And she was like, híjoles, ya se fue. And I was like, I didn't really understand what that was. But when she did this, híjoles, ya se fue, I was like, okay, the bus left without me. And I couldn't understand why. So I went up to the counter for that bus line and I started asking questions. And that young lady who worked there, she knew a little bit of English. And she was like, why didn't you get on the bus? And I said, I was here outside of the gate and I was waiting for them to call me because she told me like 10 minutos. And she was like, oh, and she looked at my ticket. And apparently I did have like a different kind of ticket. I don't know if it was because I had bought it at a travel agency or if I had paid more money for it, but she was like, do you have a first class ticket? And I'm like, oh, okay, I didn't really know that, but what difference does it make? And she said, the waiting lounge for first class tickets is there. And she pointed to a little like glass room. And she told me you needed to have waited inside that room to access the bus. You cannot access from that gate. And I'm like, why didn't anyone tell me that? That would have been very, very good information to have. And then I started negotiating because I did not want to lose my trip. I really wanted to go. And I was also really worried about not being able to communicate with my friend who was already there. But I was like, it's going to be okay. And she said there is another bus in like 50 minutes or so. And I thought, I'm not going to be that late, right? And she said, but it has this cost. And I was like, no. I'm not going to pay anything. You knew my ticket. The person who was there to help me board the bus didn't do their job, so I need you to give me the ticket. I don't want to pay any more money because that was the money I was going to be using for sightseeing. And also I thought it was kind of a shitty thing to do not to help me. So I was like, I'm not going to pay extra. And I think they kind of felt sorry for me, like, ay, pobrecita güera. And so after some negotiation on my behalf and some massive kindness from the lady behind the counter, and now thinking about it, I mean, maybe she had to put like money from her own pocket to give me that ticket. I really hope that wasn't the case. But she gave me the ticket and she said, please step into the glass room so you won't miss your bus this time. And I did. And I was a little worried because I didn't know how to ask if this was like a direct bus or if I had to change on the way or if it was going to take me like from point A to point B. And according to me, nobody told me that either. Maybe they did, but my Spanish wasn't sufficient and that lady's English was pretty basic, so we had some communication issues, but I think we got through to each other. But the thing is, I didn't know how long it was going to take, and I didn't know where to get off, and I didn't know how to ask it either. So I hopped on the bus and kind of just like, expected the best. And then I got on the bus. It was ETN. It was really comfortable, and I loved the bus. There was like complimentary snacks and stuff, and I was really, really happy, and good movies as well. And I practiced my Spanish because all movies back then were dubbed on the buses. I don't know if it's the same thing today, but I kind of think so. So after a long time, we came to a small bus station with a gas station. And almost everyone got off the bus. And I'm like, am I supposed to get off here? I don't really know. But if nobody says anything, I'm not gonna get off. I don't wanna like go for my bag and get off there because it didn't look like a nice place. So I decided that I was gonna stay on the bus, and then after maybe like an hour or so, we got to like the end station, and they were like, Uruapan, todos chequen sus blah blah blah, and I was like, okay, I heard Uruapan, and I got off the bus, and it was a very, very small bus station, and I kind of expected to see my friend there, because if he had come, and we were a little bit later than 50 minutes, we were maybe like an hour and 10 or an hour and 20 minutes later than the original bus should have arrived, and I was like, if I was not on that bus, then my friend must have gone and asked, and they would have told him that she was not on that bus, but they would have made some kind of calls to see if I was on another bus, and he should be there waiting for me. He wasn't. He wasn't. And I had my bag, and I went out of this very small bus station, and I was like, what is happening? And it didn't look like, it was night. It was maybe like 8:30 or something like that at night. Or maybe later, I don't really remember, but I remember it was dark and there was only a lady making quesadillas, and I was like, I don't know what to do now, but I had the name of the hotel, and I was thinking, okay, I'll get a cab and I will just like tell him the name of the hotel, and I will get there, and if my friend is not there or whatever happens, it's a hotel I can check in, and I can have like 2 days of vacation on my own, that was my plan, and it sounded really good in my head. And then I remembered that the name of the hotel was Hotel Uruapan. And my friend had shown me photographs and postcards. Yeah, this was back in 2000 when people could still buy postcards. And I remember it was a gorgeous place, an absolutely amazing place. So I gave the name of the hotel to the taxi driver, and he knew a little bit of English, so we went there. And then he says, "Ya llegamos, señorita," or something like that. I guess that's what he said. And I look outside and I do not see any fashionable, gorgeous, white building, colonial style. I just saw like 4 or 5 floor concrete kind of building, and it said Hotel Uruapan. And I'm like, what the heck? Did like my friend prank me or something? I didn't know what to do. And the taxi driver was a little bit like, he wanted me to get out of the taxi, and I didn't really want to because I didn't know where I was. But I got out of the taxi and I very reluctantly got into that hotel because it kind of looked like the motel that you rent by the hour. So I was like, I don't know what to do now, but I was like, okay, let's go inside the hotel and see if somebody there can help me to shed a light on all of this, like this crappy business that I was going through right now, or right then. And I went inside and I asked at reception for my friend. So I was like, oh, is this person here? And he checked his like guest book and said, nope, we don't have any guests with that name. And then I was like pretty close to crying because I didn't want to stay the night at that hotel because it did not look very nice. And but the hotel receptionist knew some English. He was actually pretty good at speaking English. And he asked me, ¿De dónde eres? And I was like, Suecia. And he was like, Björn Borg, which is a very famous Swedish tennis player. So turns out he was a huge Björn Borg fan. And then he started asking me lots of questions like, oh, but what is the name of the hotel where your friend is staying? Was it really this? And I was like, it's a really beautiful place. And I remembered that the name was Hotel Uruapan. And I kind of described the building. And he was like, the place you're looking for is Hotel Mansión Uruapan. And I was like, okay. So he very nicely called a friend of his who had a cab that took me to Hotel Mansión Uruapan for free. And I got there and I could see my friend's car at the parking lot. And because he was a traveling salesman, right? So I went into the hotel and asked at the front desk, like, do you have a guest by this name here? And the man or woman, I don't remember who was there, she was like, they were like, why are you asking? I said, it is my friend. I have come from a pretty far away place, and I so many things happened to me, and I really just want to see my friend. And they were like, yeah, this person is here. Let us call his room, and he will come down to see you. And then when my friend came down, he was like, ay, güera, ¿qué hiciste? ¿Dónde has estado? And yeah, so I finally got there, but it was a whole ordeal just to finally get to that beautiful place. And then we went for dinner, and we had a really nice evening. And the next day we went. This hotel is amazing. It's part of a national park, and the dining room is part of the park, and it's called La Rodilla del Diablo, and it's absolutely amazing. So the day after we went to that national park, and we combed through like everything and saw all the plants, and it's absolutely amazing. I really recommend both the hotel and the national park. It's absolutely beautiful. And then in the afternoon we went to Janitzio, and we took a little boat out on the lake, and we went up. It's a small island, and then you walk in a very, very narrow, very steep kind of staircase that seems to have been made by nature in some parts and by humans in another part. And we went up, and there's a huge statue of Morelos, and it's a museum, and you can go inside and you go up the stairs and you can see like all of the history, and it was absolutely amazing. And so my travel didn't start very well, but it ended absolutely fantastically. And then thankfully my friend was driving back to Texcoco, so I went by car to get back home. But yeah, that was a really cool vacation to remember, and I can just recommend everyone, if you go somewhere where you don't know the language. I am so envious because today we have like Google Translator, all this horrible tool, don't use it. But it's so much easier to communicate. But if you go to a place where you can't communicate and you don't have any Wi-Fi connection, don't be afraid to ask with like very rudimentary phrases. It doesn't matter if you don't know the language. It doesn't matter if your grammar isn't perfect. Ask the questions and be more insisting than I was, so you can have a little bit better experience than I had. I mean, it wasn't a bad experience, and people were incredibly kind and helpful, but it was still not how I wanted to start that vacation. So let me know in the comments, have you visited Michoacan? Have you visited Uruapan or Janitzio? How was your experience? I will be very happy to read you in the comments. And how about these kind of like vacation or traveling mishaps? Which have been yours? And please let us know. We would love to hear about them. Take care, and remember, like, share, subscribe, follow, and recommend us for more content in English. See you the next time. Bye.